On August 7, 2025, the world lost a hero whose courage, ingenuity, and quiet strength carried humanity to the edge of the stars. Jim Lovell, the legendary NASA astronaut who commanded the Apollo 13 mission and orbited the moon on Apollo 8, passed away at 97 in his Lake Forest, Illinois home, surrounded by family after a brief illness. His life was a testament to the audacity of human exploration, from his early days as a naval aviator to his role in some of NASA's most defining moments. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, Jim's journey was shaped by resilience, a love for flight, and an unbreakable bond with his family. Married to Marilyn for 71 years, father to 4, and grandfather to 16, he balanced the vastness of space with the warmth of home. His calm voice during Apollo 13's near disaster, "Houston, we've had a problem," became a symbol of hope under pressure, immortalized in film and history. Today, we honor Jim Lovell's extraordinary legacy. His cause of death, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and biography. A story of a man who reached for the moon and showed us what it means to persevere. James Arthur Lovell Jr. was born on March 25, 1928, in Cleveland, Ohio, to Blanche and James Lovell Sr., a coal furnace salesman whose life ended tragically in a car accident when Jim was just 5. The loss left Blanche, a teacher of Czech descent, to raise Jim and his older sister, Susan, through the hardships of the Great Depression. Moving to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Blanche remarried, and Jim grew up in a modest home where his imagination thrived. As a boy, he devoured pulp science fiction magazines like Amazing Stories, dreaming of rockets and distant worlds. At Juneau High School, he shone in math and science, building homemade rockets in his basement with friends, their contraptions often fizzling but fueling his ambition. His leadership as an Eagle Scout, earned at 15, reflected his discipline and curiosity. After 2 years at the University of Wisconsin, Jim won a competitive appointment to the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. There, he studied engineering, wrote a treatise on liquid propellant rockets, and graduated with a Bachelor of Science in 1952. Those early years, marked by loss and determination, forged a young man destined to soar beyond Earth's bounds. Jim's career began in the skies as a naval aviator. After earning his wings in 1954 at Naval Air Station Pensacola, he was stationed aboard the USS Shangri-La, flying F-2H Banshee night fighters in the Western Pacific. The high-stakes missions, often in darkness over turbulent seas, honed his precision and calm under pressure, skills that would later save lives in space. In 1958, he joined the Naval Air Test Center at Patuxent River, Maryland, as a test pilot, graduating first in his class alongside future astronauts Wally Schirra and Pete Conrad, who nicknamed him Shaky for his steady hands. Testing experimental jets like the F-4H Phantom, Jim pushed the limits of speed and technology, embracing the danger with a quiet thrill. A brief setback came in 1961 when a high bilirubin count disqualified him from NASA's Mercury 7, but his persistence paid off in 1962 when he was selected for NASA's second astronaut group, the Next 9, alongside Neil Armstrong and Frank Borman. His selection marked the start of a career that would redefine exploration, blending daring with meticulous skill. Jim's space odyssey began with Gemini 7 in 1965, a 14-day mission with Frank Borman that tested human endurance in a capsule no larger than a car's front seat. Orbiting Earth for 206 orbits, the mission was grueling. Jim and Borman endured cramped conditions, limited food, and primitive sanitation, but it proved humans could survive long enough for a lunar trip. In 1966, Jim commanded Gemini 12 with Buzz Aldrin, overseeing critical spacewalks that refined techniques for future missions. His ability to stay composed during technical challenges earned NASA's trust. Apollo 8 in 1968 was a historic leap, the first human mission to orbit the moon. With Borman and William Anders, Jim circled the moon 10 times, capturing the iconic Earthrise photo, a blue marble rising above the lunar horizon that shifted humanity's perspective. On Christmas Eve, their broadcast reading from Genesis reached nearly a quarter of the world's population, with Jim's voice closing, "Good night, good luck, and God bless all of you on the good earth." His words, "The vast loneliness is awe-inspiring," reflected the mission's profound impact, a moment he later called his proudest. Apollo 13 in 1970 defined Jim's legacy. Commanding the mission with Fred Hayes and Jack Swigert, he aimed for NASA's third lunar landing. But 56 hours into the flight, 200,000 miles from Earth, an oxygen tank explosion crippled the spacecraft, cutting power, water, and breathable air. Jim's calm report, "Houston, we've had a problem," understated the crisis. With mission control, he led the crew to transform the lunar module into a lifeboat, improvising a carbon dioxide scrubber with duct tape, cardboard, and socks. Navigating manually using Earth's Terminator line, Jim ensured a precise re-entry, splashing down safely in the Pacific on April 17, 1970. The mission, dubbed a successful failure, showcased human ingenuity and teamwork, later immortalized in Ron Howard's 1995 film Apollo 13, with Tom Hanks capturing Jim's steadfast leadership. Jim retired from NASA in 1973, having logged 715 hours in space across 4 missions, a record at the time. His book Lost Moon, co-authored with Jeffrey Kluger in 1994, inspired the film, sharing the story of survival with a global audience. Jim's family was his anchor through every high-stakes mission. He met Marilyn Lily Gerlach at Juneau High School, where their teenage romance blossomed over shared dreams. They married on June 6, 1952, at St. Anne's Church in Annapolis, just after his Naval Academy graduation. Marilyn, a pillar of strength, raised their 4 children: Barbara, James, Susan, and Jeffrey, often alone during Jim's deployments and spaceflights. During Apollo 13, her resilience was tested as she waited with their children, then aged 4 to 15, while the world prayed for Jim's return. In a 2016 People interview, Jim said, "Marilyn was my rock through every launch, every crisis." Their 71-year marriage endured until Marilyn's passing in August 2023 at 93, a loss that deeply affected Jim. Their children forged diverse paths. Barbara became a teacher, James a businessman, Susan a writer, and Jeffrey an engineer. Jim was a doting grandfather to 16 and great-grandfather to 7, often regaling them with tales of space at family gatherings in Lake Forest. His sister Susan remained a close confidant, and the Lovell family's bond was a constant source of strength. Jim's lifestyle balanced discipline with adventure. His net worth, estimated at $2 million in 2025, came from his NASA salary, book royalties, speaking engagements, and business ventures. After retiring, he served as president of Bay Houston Towing Company and founded Lovell Communications with Marilyn, offering consulting services. They lived modestly in Lake Forest, Illinois, in a home filled with space memorabilia, mission patches, signed photos with Presidents Kennedy and Nixon, and a moon rock on loan from NASA. Jim was an avid sailor, navigating Lake Michigan on his boat Marilyn, named for his wife, and enjoyed golf and reading history books, particularly about World War II and exploration. His love for aviation never faded. He flew small planes into his 80s, often taking friends on joyrides over Illinois. A philanthropist, he supported the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation and Adler Planetarium, where the Lovell Space Dome honors his legacy. In 2020, at 92, he celebrated Apollo 13's 50th anniversary with a virtual event, sharing stories of survival with his trademark humor. Though he used a wheelchair in later years, his mind remained sharp, his enthusiasm for space undimmed. Jim's later years were filled with reflection and quiet joy. He made cameo appearances in Apollo 13 as a Navy captain and consulted on the film, ensuring its accuracy. His 2016 book Apollo 8, the thrilling story of the first mission to the moon with Kluger, brought new attention to that mission's significance. He received numerous honors, including the Congressional Space Medal of Honor in 1995, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1970, and induction into the National Aviation Hall of Fame. In 2024, he spoke at a Chicago event marking the Apollo program's legacy, his voice still commanding as he described the Earthrise photo's impact. Diagnosed with a brief illness in early 2025, likely linked to age-related decline, Jim passed peacefully at home on August 7, 2025 at 97, as confirmed by NASA and his family. Tributes flooded in. Buzz Aldrin called him a true pioneer, while President Joe Biden praised his Apollo 13 heroism. On X, fans shared clips of the Apollo 13 film, one writing, "Jim Lovell showed us what courage really means." His family's statement read, "Dad lived a life of adventure, service, and love. He's now exploring the stars he once reached for." Jim Lovell's life was a beacon of human potential. From a boy in Milwaukee building rockets to a hero who orbited the moon twice, he faced the unknown with grace. His Apollo 8 Christmas broadcast and Apollo 13 survival story remind us of our shared humanity and ingenuity. Married to Marilyn for 71 years, father to 4, grandfather to 16, he cherished family above all. His $2 million net worth pales beside his impact. NASA honors a lunar mountain named Mount Marilyn and a film that inspired millions. His passing at 97 closed a chapter on the Apollo era, but his legacy endures in the stars he reached and the stories he left behind. If Jim Lovell's journey of courage, love, and exploration has touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's keep his spirit soaring, a guiding star for dreamers everywhere. Thank you for joining us in celebrating Jim Lovell's extraordinary life. Until next time, look to the stars and remember his courage.